This is probably the most full-featured on-camera microphone for under $100. Say hello to the D4 from Deity. Full disclosure, Deity sent this mic to me, but they are not paying for this review. They have no input in this video, and they don't get to see it before it's launched. This is the Deity D3 Pro, which was my favorite on-camera microphone for about 4 years running until I finally managed to kill it after taking it through all kinds of stuff with me in the rain, snow, brutally cold temperatures, and all of that. 4 years later, it finally died. No big surprise. This is a new one I bought because it's still a fantastic microphone. What's amazing is that this mic costs around $200. This one costs around $100, and it has more features than this mic. So for example, while this mic had a built-in internal rechargeable battery, which I kind of complained about at the beginning, it turns out it actually did great and it lasted well, it held up fine in the cold and all that, and lasted for 4 years of me abusing it. But you had to turn the microphone on before you plugged it in. Now the mic would go into a sleep mode if the camera wasn't on, and it would turn on when it detected the camera on, whereas the upgrade on this is they made it so that the microphone automatically turns on when the camera turns on. And it has a replaceable AAA battery now, which is great if you're out in places where you can't recharge it. And on a AAA battery, you'll get up to 60 hours of runtime. Not only that, it has a USB port or USB-C port here that is a smart port, so it's both an analog and a digital port. In other words, it will put out analog signal into a camera or, you know, whatever device you might be using, but it's also a digital port. So if you're using it with a computer or a smartphone with the right cable, then it will go digitally from the mic into your computer, which is great because it doesn't have to go through an extra step of being converted from a analog signal to a digital signal, back to an analog signal, back to a digital signal, which anytime you do that, you lose sound quality. Hey, if you don't know me, my name is Jake and I create content here to help solo creators on the go. So I test and review lots of filmmaking equipment here in Alaska, in places like this, and I teach you the skills you need so that you can hopefully get paid for your video or your photo work. If that's something that interests you, or if you're enjoying this video, then consider subscribing. And another really cool thing is that this, both the foam mount here, which is this here, great, nice and small and compact, but it also comes with this furry, fuzzy dead cat, or, you know, wind sock killer, whatever you want to call it. And it does a really, really fantastic job. They also did a couple of different things. They redesigned the mount here, which allows for a little more flexibility in when you slide it around. And they did learn my biggest complaint about the original D3 Pro was how this, I could never get it tight enough, and it would slip out of my hot shoe eventually on the camera. This is much better and much easier to attach and make sure it has a good firm grasp. Also, they redesigned the shock mount, so it's very good. It doesn't give you any sort of vibration. Now you have this stepless gain knob, which they had on the other one, that goes from +10 to -5. So if you have a very loud sound source, instead of adding a pad, you can now dial it down to -5. Or if you have a very quiet sound source and you need to get a lot of gain, you can put it up to +10, which is perfect for run and gun filming and things like that. However, there's even something else that they did, which I think is absolutely brilliant. What Deity did was made this part of the slide here a actual cold shoe size thing. So you could clip in a wireless unit here, and hold on a second, I will plug the wireless unit into this camera. And then suddenly you can connect this mic to a little wireless system and you've got a wireless mic. So, you know, I actually was supposed to be here interviewing the Abominable Snowman, but apparently he's running late, so, you know, whatever. Anyway, but you can connect it to something like the Deity Pocket Wireless or something like that and put it out on the end of a boom pole and not have to run a long cable to your camera, which can be extremely handy. And this is how the Deity D4 sounds plugged directly into the camera. I've always been a fan of how Deity's mics sound overall. I think they're really good and really balanced. They may not be right for every single voice out there, but I think they give you a good sound overall. And for comparison, this is how the Deity D3 Pro sounds. Same exact setup, same everything, exactly the same distance from me to the microphone, same settings, it's all the same. There you go. This is without a doubt the most full-featured on-camera microphone for under $100. Gives you solid sound quality, really good performance, and you get all the accessories you need, including this windsock or the dead cat, which normally I've had to buy for an extra $30 or $40. So it's a really great value, and the performance is fantastic for right around just under $100. If you're interested in checking it out or picking one up for yourself, there's links in the description. They are affiliate links, but you know, no extra cost to you, so go knock yourself out. One of the complaints a lot of people have had about the D3 Pro and a few other Deity microphones was the shielding from RF. So this is my cell phone. It's not on airplane mode or anything like that. We're gonna put it up and just see if it picks up any sort of bad noises. I don't think it did. But I do have another source that actually pumps out a ton of RF, and that's the remote control for my drone, which I know people have had issue with in the past. So let me grab that, we'll test that out too. Now I've got the remote control going. The drone is right over there. Well, you can see the drone feed. So now let's see if that seems like the RF issue is pretty much fixed with this particular microphone. To see how other microphones compare, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below or join my live stream Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, usually, or 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you again soon in the next video. Yeah, I just got to hike a mile out and it's getting cold and dark, so I'll see you later. Cheers.